Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Adobe Live Community Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Poulin, and with me today in studio, Megan Fiataroni and Emma Gustafson.
Woohoo!
Yes!
Back with the girls.
Excited that you guys are here today. We are going to have an amazing conversation about your creative career and what how Yes has impacted your career moments. We're really excited for it and chat. We're always glad that you're here with us. If you have questions, if you want to be a part of the conversation, please participate. Megan's keeping an eye on you.
I have chat up both Behance and YouTube.
We're looking at you.
Amazing.
Yes.
I have all your questions answered from Emma today.
Yes, so we're really glad that you're all here with us. Please participate. And Emma, for those who don't know you, who don't recognize you from your Max keynote, could you give us a little background on who you are and what your day-to-day creatively looks like?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me back and here on the podcast. So exciting. Like Emily said, I'm Emma Gustafson, and I'm a designer here at Adobe. I'm working on our emerging design team where, we're exploring all kinds of different technologies, AI, of course, being a hot button topic. And yeah, I get to just try out a lot of cool things, experiment, and it's been super fun.
Well, how long have you been at Adobe now?
I've been at Adobe now for like 2.5 years, so not
like
super long.
This is a full circle moment because I feel like you were here like right when you started.
I did. I knocked on Adobe Live's door and I was like, "Can you let me in?" And they're like, "Sure."
Yes,
so
of
thank
course.
you. Honestly, I credit you guys a lot for like giving me a little bit of a platform
We
to
did
get
this,
some
yeah.
great opportunities. No, you seriously did. Like,
Well, that's
thank
like
you for that.
Adobe Live's ethos is like finding people in the community. You just happen to be an Adobe employee, but you also are a community member.
Oh, thanks.
And, helping them and helping each other,
Yeah, I love it here.
We're glad to have you back. So you have said when we spoke prior to this that you have been a creative your entire life and you kind of knew from the get-go, like, I want to be a designer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not everyone's experience. Could you walk us through what that was and maybe that moment that you're like, this is it, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, it's so funny. I don't even know if there was like a single moment, but it was just like since I was little, I was always coloring and drawing. And I mean, there's like pictures that I drew when I was probably like 5 that said like, when I grow up, I want to be an artist. Like I always was creative. For me, there was never going to be another like job that I would actually want to do. Thankfully, my parents were like super supportive of that. But yeah, I don't even know how I learned about graphic design specifically. Like that was kind of like my goal probably since I was like 10, which is crazy.
A 10-year-old that knows graphic design.
I know. That's so niche. But yeah, I kind of just like always was like, oh, I want to do that. That's a really cool job to have.
I love that because I think a lot of people, I was talking to the Project Aqua team
Oh,
about this
yeah.
recently. I don't know if you've tried it. It's
Yes.
I haven't.
The app for children. It's super fun.
I got to help them work on it just a little bit,
my
just
gosh.
in my free time.
Hold that thought because I want to hear more.
Yeah.
But they were talking about how like after a certain age, we're all artists up until we're 6, 7, 8. And
Totally.
then we all stop, or not everyone, obviously, but like
A lot of people.
The majority of us
Yeah.
stop. And it's so cool that you were able to like keep it going
Totally.
and make it your career and that your parents were supportive. That's
I
really nice.
know. Yeah. I feel like my dad was such a big influence in that. He's super creative. My mom is creative in her own right, but my dad was kind of like my inspiration early on. He was always supporting me, and he, I think, kind of wanted to be a graphic designer when he was younger. But like, I don't know, the industry has evolved so much, and that didn't seem really feasible or like stable if you wanted to have like a family, perhaps. So he was really encouraging. Like, he does it kind of on the side for fun. So I always got to watch him.
Wow.
I'm like, wait, that's like a job. And he's like, yeah, you can totally do that. So super great to have that.
Did you study art or graphic design?
I studied graphic design.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like the best decision I made. That was also such an easy decision. Like I wasn't major shopping, which was so rare and so nice in college. So like looking at schools, I was like, okay, who has a good graphic design program? And I landed at University of Kansas from the Midwest
Blue
girlies.
Jays.
Yeah. Jayhawks. Super
Close enough.
Super close. Super close.
It's a bird.
Ooh, sorry.
It's a made up bird. But I'm from St. Louis. And so it was like a school that was 4 hours away. So like pretty close, but like far enough. I got in-state tuition. So like that was a factor. But they have such an amazing design program, which was like the best thing because it was like fun school for sure, but then like the program was super solid.
We have a big part of our community who are emerging designers or people who are in school or on that path to school. What stood out to you about that design program that you're like, this is it, this is what I want?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I feel like I toured a lot of schools where you could tell design was a major they offered, but not like a priority. You know, like they had it and it was there. And Kansas was totally like stood out to me because it was like at the forefront of like some of the best majors that they offer. And I think also the professors really played a big part in that. Like they are so invested in the students. They're also really like seasoned, reputable designers in their own right. I mean, that's kind of like important to me, at least at the time and still today, because they're still practicing designers. They worked at some really big companies. They're really involved in the industry as a whole. So they were great teachers, but they also could just share their like real life and updated current experiences with all the students. And you kind of just got to know them like over the course of your 4 years there and really develop strong relationships. So they're teachers and then they kind of turn into mentors too. And that was just like super apparent the first time I stepped on campus.
Yeah, no, I think working professionals is one of like the key indicators of, oh, this is a thriving program and not just someone who's here teaching.
Totally.
And I think that really can ladder you up into career moments. So
yeah,
I love that.
Absolutely.
So if we take anything away from today, it's Kansas.
Yeah, don't sleep on Kansas.
Don't sleep on Kansas.
You know, if you're in the Midwest, that's probably an easier sell. Get it? Like California girlies, it's tough, I know. But yeah, I really, really loved my time there. It was so great.
I love that. And you said that it didn't even start in school, right? So you had this preconceived idea of like, I want to be a designer.
Yeah.
And then you had a tutoring situation. I'd love to hear more. And then you started in yearbook. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that was like before college. I think I was like, I want to say 13, 14, and my dad hired a tutor to come to my house to teach me Adobe Illustrator.
We need to meet your dad.
Yeah, honestly,
Come on.
I feel like if you take nothing else away, it's that I have like amazing parents and I'm so grateful for them. Shout out to them. I know my dad will definitely watch this, probably my mom too, but they just like gave me every opportunity and then some to like get me to where I am today. So totally privileged in that aspect. But yeah, he hired a tutor because he knew Photoshop. He taught me Photoshop, but I was like, I really wanted to use Illustrator.
What's this other program?
Yeah. I was like, what's this about? And he's like, I don't know, but I'll find someone who will teach you. Yeah. And the lady honestly wasn't that great. But she like, I don't even remember her name. It's fine. She was teaching me how to use like shapes and like build a house with like a square and a triangle. Like I could probably have figured that out myself. But it just definitely kind of like dipped my toe into even more avenues of graphic design. And then you mentioned yearbook, which is something I got into in high school, which I feel like is a common like origin story for graphic designers. Like there's really nothing special in that, but that was like my thing in high school. And again, another great mentor. I had like the most amazing teacher. I still talk to him today. I occasionally like Zoom with the students in that class, like give feedback. Like that has such a special place in my heart. And they were teaching all Adobe products. Like InDesign was the big one. Photoshop, like he was the one to teach me how to use masks and things like that. So all these little moments of like people supporting me in my career and like teaching me the tools just kind of like gave me the confidence and permission to pursue what I really loved, which is so incredible that they were able to do that for me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
How's chat doing?
Chat's doing great. There's actually a lot of people here. Should we say hi?
We should.
Okay.
We have Maggie, Brittany, Ryan, Bree, Steven, Ray,
Wow.
Rathy, lots of people. Chris, can't forget Chris, of course. So lots of people in the YouTube chat. Some people are saying, oh, greetings from London.
Oh,
Oh.
I've never been to Europe, guys. And can you send me, I don't know, like a work trip?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Thanks.
Sure.
We have that power.
Sign up.
I want to go.
Amazing. Yeah. Steven is saying InDesign was the first software that he learned.
Yeah.
Really?
I really think that this is, like you said, an origin story for a lot of people with
Totally.
Adobe is the yearbook InDesign path.
That's fair. Yes.
Yeah.
In the light of InDesign, I was gonna say most people I always hear is Photoshop was their first.
Yeah.
You know, I did this and
My
figured it
first
out.
love.
Right. Exactly. InDesign, she's a tricky girl. There's a lot to her. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But she's very niche, I feel like, in a lot of good ways. But
Yeah. for sure. I still love InDesign.
Absolutely.
I
No.
love it for placing photos. That's really specific, but that's my favorite feature of InDesign is
actually-
placing photos.
Have you placed a photo in InDesign? If you did, you would know.
It's really
Can you show
satisfying.
me?
I'll show you after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a beauty to it.
Let's show tomorrow on the stream.
Yes, we'll
Putting
do
on the
There you
spot.
go.
Tune in tomorrow for Emily's stream.
Yes, can do. Okay, so you had a tutor, you went into school and you pursued college. You were like, okay, this is what I'm going to
Yeah.
do. What was your standpoint then when you entered the design world? Were you passionate about branding? Was it something different?
Yeah. You know, it was branding. Branding was like my first thing that I really loved. And I think that was something that Kansas was really strong in teaching was brand design. And because a lot of my professors were like really, really talented in that area, it was super interesting to me. And I just found like a lot of joy in like designing for clients, or like in school, it's like fake clients. So a lot of my first internships were in more of that like traditional branding space. So it was like at design agencies, marketing agencies, things that were a little bit more like of a traditional graphic design job. And then in college, we took a couple classes about UX design, which I kind of was like, what is this? I don't know. I was kind of dismissive. I was like, sure, whatever. And then we started to like play around with some of those tools, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this too, but I didn't want to choose. And so I actually was applying for internships, like going into my senior year of college, or I guess it was fall of my junior year. And I was just applying to like probably 40 companies. This was like fall. It was early, but I just can't. I'm
You're
impatient.
ambitious, yeah.
I'm ambitious. So I was like, I don't know, does this company have a design intern? And I was applying for things I was not qualified for, right? Like
I
UX
love that. I
design,
love that
product. Like
energy.
I was like, let them tell me that
Right.
I'm not qualified. I think
Yes.
maybe
Don't set a bar for yourself. Let them set it for you.
like don't
right?
stop.
Is that
Yeah,
good advice?
I think so. Like, don't stop yourself from trying. Like, my kind of philosophy is worst case, they say no,
Right.
which is like me knocking on Adobe Live's door, like, hey, can I stream? And you're
You said
like,
yes.
sure. But if you said no, I'd be like, okay.
Right.
But anyways, so I applied to all those companies, really not. Those were probably more like my stretch companies where I was like, these are giant places like Adobe. Zero expectations, right? I'm from the Midwest. I'm expecting, okay, I'll probably live, hopefully not in the Midwest, but like not a huge city at a traditional like graphic design agency or something like that. And then I got an email back from Adobe and I was like, no way. I was like, this is false. Like, this is fake. No
Spam.
way. Like, I didn't have any special in. I applied on like a regular link with no referrals. I still to this day have no idea like how that even made it that far. But so the interview, or I guess the role that they interviewed me for, was a brand intern. So it was a little bit of brand design, but also like in the context of UX and products. So I was like, wait, this is perfect, because I was refusing to choose between brand and UX, especially when I built my portfolio. I was like, I'm putting both of them in. You tell me which way is gonna, pan out for my career. And it just so happened that the internship they wanted me for was a hybrid.
Wow.
So then I came to Adobe going into my senior year of college, and that was like, literally, again, back to my dad. He was like jumping up and down when I got the first
What's your
interview.
dad's name?
Wallace.
Wallace, I love you.
He's like the sweetest. Like, he was maybe as excited as I was,
Aw.
if not more. I was like, this is too good to be true, because it's just like, been so invested in these products pretty much my whole life. And so it was such a special opportunity to be like, wow, this is like, these are tools that I really care about. And like the people that use them, I also care about so much. So thankfully that passion has like stayed the same. And it's been an amazing ride since I was an intern.
Well, I think it's like one of those things where you end up where you're supposed to be.
Totally.
But also you're incredibly talented, so I'm not really
Thanks.
surprised.
We're not underselling that
By
at all.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks. I don't know though. I was telling you earlier, Emily, sometimes I don't feel like I'm the best. Like, I think I'm like decent at a lot of different things, but I don't feel like, oh my gosh, like I can design a logo like nobody's business, or oh my gosh, like I'm the best product design. No, like not at all. I think I have some soft skills that have taken me a long way. I like to chat. Like I think talking and being like in your face has helped me, which is really great. Like that's just a personality thing. But I'm definitely like, I was good enough to get in the door, but there's so many people like in our community that I'm so in awe of. I'm like, I wish I could design like that.
Well, I love how humble you are, but you
Oh.
shouldn't be because you're awesome. But also, I think that's like goes into this like lifelong learner.
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
like realizing you're always learning. There's always something you can
Totally.
do better. So I like that you have that
Yeah,
mentality.
I'm just super curious. Like I love
I love
like, I don't know. I'm not like wanting to like spend time learning for the sake of learning. I'm like, I want to do that like you, like how you teach me. How do you do that? And like, maybe I can do it to that same level after learning, or if not, then like I at least gain some new skills. So yeah, I feel like that has kind of carried over into like even the job I'm doing now, where it's more UX design. I'm still kind of like fresh into that transition because I started on the brand team that I interned on, which was amazing. I was there for probably 2 years. And then about 6 months ago, I transitioned to the emerging design team where I'm a UX designer. And like, y'all, I don't know, like I'm working on stuff right now. I'm like, I don't think I know how to do this, but there's people that are on my team that I'm like, but teach me. Like, I want to watch you, talk me through it, and then I will absolutely absorb all that. And like, I'm a perfectionist. I want to be the best at everything. I'm not, but I hold myself to a high standard. And I think because of that, I like to push myself to like learn and just at least try and be okay with like failing, which I've done also plenty of times.
So I have a question for you, just for everyone that I think there's a lot of people that are interested in the behind the scenes here at Adobe.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about you were on a brand team,
Yeah.
what does that mean? Like what kind of projects were you working on?
That is such a good
and
question.
what are you working on now?
Yeah, that's such a good question because I think there's like 3 brand teams at Adobe, candidly. So there's like a marketing brand team, which I think is what most people think of.
Yeah, for sure.
The brand team I was on was like super product focused. So think of like adding the paint to our products, like adding the visual like zhuzh and touches to make our products look pretty. So I was creating illustrations that would go in the products. Sometimes we would have new products and we'd actually like create the logo for them. Lots of different things that you might not think about, but show up and really just, we always would say like surprise and delight our users. So it was like all the fun, pretty stuff. I would look at colors all day, pick colors. It was great. Try not to pick pink all the time.
So I'm thinking of like when you log into Adobe Express.
Yeah.
I'm closing my eyes to visualize this.
Chat, close your eyes with us.
When you log into Adobe Express, at the top there is that like gradient
Yes,
that kind of greets
I
you.
did all
That?
those. Yeah.
Is that the kind of stuff you're working on?
Wait,
Okay.
that's your gradient?
Yeah, and those illustrations.
Specifically,
Oh my
that is
gosh.
your
Yeah,
gradient.
I
I
mean,
didn't even know that.
Yes, but there's like a system to follow
Of course.
too, for sure. So it's
But-
like, technically did make those. Did I design the system? No, not totally. But yeah, that's exactly the kind
Okay,
of stuff.
That's the kind of color you're adding to the products.
Yes,
Cool.
for sure.
I love that there are things that like no one would ever notice.
Yeah,
but
you don't realize
but
that's
you
a
do
job.
notice
But
it.
that's also good design if you
Yeah.
don't notice it. But it
Yeah.
is making the experience so much better.
Yeah.
But
That's amazing.
okay, so now what are you working on?
Yeah,
more of?
now good question. I'm like still trying to answer that question myself. I think
Same.
especially, I mean, aren't we all? I'm like, what do I really like? I don't know. Like, I like a lot of different things in my job now too. We're in this like emerging design space. So that's like all the emerging technologies you can think of, so much AI stuff. Like, I don't think one project description or like one, I don't know, team description like fits this moment in
Yeah.
the industry. It's always changing. And so a lot of it is like really understanding the technology like that's out there. So like AI agents and like what are they actually capable of? What do our users need? And then like how can we design products, features, solutions that support our users with this technology? So a lot of our products look like that right now, where we like, okay, we identify user problems with our product teams. We're kind of like consultants, honestly, with our product team. So we work with whoever needs our help, whoever has a big idea or wants to think about like the future of their product. Then they bring us in and then we kind of like work alongside them to create experiences for their users.
Wow.
Nice. So like
Yeah.
the people that are talking at Sneaks,
Yeah,
maybe for example, are
exactly.
some of the teams that you're working
Totally.
with.
And those are really smart engineers that we
Yeah.
work with. And we like learn so much from them and like our research scientists because they're like either designing the technologies or they like know how they work. And so I think a really big thing I've had to learn in my recent job is like understanding what engineering is capable of and then like what can design do. Because sometimes you can design things that sound great and aren't technically feasible. And so it's kind of like a balance of like, we want to do this. Engineering tells us no. Okay, how do we compromise and figure it out? Yeah, but the people at Sneaks are like
Crazy.
genius.
I know.
I literally do not know how you can be that smart and do all that, but
And
yeah.
hilarious. All of them are
I
so
know
funny.
they did such an amazing job this year. I was very, very impressed.
I think too, vice versa, right? Like sometimes maybe there is stuff that the engineering team is like, this would be great.
Yeah,
And this would be super cool. But you're like, do designers really need that?
for sure.
Does it work that way too?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think that's maybe part of my job that I've made for myself. I don't know if anyone appreciates this or wants me to do this, but I'm kind of always pushing like, do people actually want to use this?
The
Or
community-
I love that.
The community loves that.
Yeah,
Emma's here for
mean,
you guys.
I am like, I care more than anything, especially since I was like a user and less so maybe in my day to day. Like, sure, I'm not an employed graphic designer, but in my free time, like I do my little creative hobbies and like they're all using our tools. So like I want them to work really, really well for the people that use them every day and like rely on them for their living, their passions. Yeah, so like users are kind of always at the forefront of my mind, especially with AI. I think it's so important that we're using AI for the right solutions that actually are like addressing the problems that are the people that are using our products face, as opposed to like wiping them out. Like I want to like work alongside them and build tools and experiences that do that. And I think that was like a big aha moment actually during Max.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
what did you demo at Max?
Yeah, exactly. So I got to demo at Max the Photoshop Web AI assistant, which was amazing. I had nothing to do with the product, like literally just the messenger. So grateful for that because
Yeah.
I kind of got lucky. Like that team was, talk about smart engineers. Like they were really cool people to work with, but layer naming was like, people went crazy, which is kind of funny, but also it's like so true. It's like that is exactly how our community wants to use AI. Reduce all the friction that they're facing, solve their problems, and just let them create. Like let them do like all the fun stuff. And so I'm really internally pushing for more things like that.
Yay, snaps for Emma.
Yeah,
for being
I
there
know.
for the community.
Don't quote me on that, maybe perhaps, but yeah, definitely would love to see more things like that come through.
I just watched that clip last night from when you announced that and you were like, oh, and now I'm going to name all the layers and the audience went crazy.
Which is so funny because also in that moment when you're on stage, like I was not processing.
you blocked out.
Yeah, I was like,
like,
I got
"Maybe."
off stage, people were like, the crowd went crazy. I was like, great. That did not register at all. Like I was in the zone.
I have a question about Max. This is like totally off the rails, but I would
Yeah.
love you to walk through like what that morning looked like for you as a
Oh,
singer. Because
okay.
I'm sure people will
If you remember, were you
Yeah,
bucked
like,
out?
is
Far
there-
beyond?
I do. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to curl my hair. I mean, these curls don't curl
You have
themselves.
to curl your own hair.
Yeah. Well, I'm very particular.
Okay.
They had glam, but like I wanted to come feeling
her
like
own glam team.
myself.
Yep.
Glam team of one.
She does it all.
Yeah, I am very particular, and my hair is really thick. So I was like, if I come with wet hair, yeah, feel it.
It is thick.
If I came with my hair wet, like there would be no time for anyone else to get glam done. It takes
That was
me.
so considerate of you then to think of everyone
Yeah,
else.
I was like, I've had enough experience. I'd be in that chair for 2 hours. So yeah, I did my hair, my makeup. We got to the Peacock Theater at like 7 a.m. I think.
Oh my
And you're just like sitting backstage in the dark, which is so funny because we spent like, so that was on a Tuesday. The Monday before we were in the dark, like backstage for, over 8 hours. Like we did not see the light of day. And so I felt
Emerging.
like, and then we like came out, it was like dark outside. woke up the next morning, dark outside, went back to, so I was like, just kind of in my own little world. It just kind of felt like an out of body experience. Yeah, we got our like glam touch ups, which I got my glam done like next to our CEO, which was, such a unique experience. And then, yeah, we just kind of like waited. We watched our executives prep a little bit more. And then like you just hear people start filing in. You kind of like, I feel like everyone's kind of in their own little zone, like pacing back and forth, like saying their like lines back to each other.
Pumping each other up.
Yeah.
Pumping yourself
Paul
up.
Traney and I, shout out Paul Traney. He hosted Sneaks. He's like on the stage all the time. We were doing push-ups. That was like what we would do during rehearsals.
gosh.
So I like kicked off my high heels. I'm like, Paul, like before, Paul was the first presenter. I was like, we got to get our push-ups in like before. And so we like, I was just dancing, like trying to like loosen up, not get in my own head. Cause I do best when I'm like, just having fun, pretending like it's my friends out in the audience. I also like didn't look at the crowd or like even sit in the theater on the other side.
Smart.
And I'd never been to Max before, so I had no expectations. I know. What a wild. I've never been to Max. I've been begging to go for 2 years. And then they're like,
on the stage.
Plop you on the stage, which is so great. So such an honor. But so I didn't even know like what it looked like from out there, which I think was good because it didn't like psych me out.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then they're like, okay, you're on. I'm like, okay. And actually during rehearsals, they made me stand on a box behind the podium because I'm so short. And then I was like, this guy's
Don't make me stand on the box. Stay up.
no,
Embrace it.
especially
Embrace your
like
shortness.
you can see on the audience from the side. I'm like, they're gonna see that I'm standing on a box.
They're
like,
gonna meme me.
yeah, I was like, I have a great picture that they like someone took of me like from the side. I'm like, if I had been standing on a box, that picture would look ridiculous.
But you could just remove it.
Yeah, and then I'd be
on.
floating. But
be
yeah,
fun.
then I wore heels and then it was fine. But yeah, it was great. And then the next day I got to like sit in the crowd and watch like Sneaks and Day 2 keynote. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank gosh I like did not sit out here before because I was like, there's so many people like this is huge. I don't understand. But gladly I like didn't see that beforehand. And yeah, it was good.
Oh, congrats again.
Thanks.
It's like
Seriously
such an
amazing.
achievement.
Thanks.
And you're so early on in your career. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a great
it was a
career.
grind. And I mean, like speaking of when I said I was like, I've failed a lot before, like in our rehearsal process, y'all, I was bad. Like any of the evangelists love them. They will validate. Like I was not doing well. I was struggling. You have to like memorize. So we don't have any like cue cards. We don't have any like prompters.
Really?
Yeah. So you have to like memorize. And I'm not an actress. I haven't done
I'm a designer.
the theater. I've only been a designer and given like corporate presentations where I have to pretend like I'm very old and serious. Take me seriously. When instead I'm like, I'm just Emma. Like I like pink. Like I did channel more of that side of myself. And so it was just kind of like breaking corporate presentation habits and learning how to memorize, which I was like, okay. And like no pressure when you get on that stage. Like there was a couple times practicing where I was just like, I'm blank. Like, what do I say? So
Like line someone?
yeah, and there's no line. There's no one to save you.
Help.
Just do push-ups. It'll be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, exactly. As a diversion.
Okay, I want to circle back a little bit. I mean, obviously a huge moment. What was like the lineup to get into this moment? Was it a certain yes? Was it a conversation in the office? What was it that led you to this moment?
That's a good question. I don't like 100% have the answer.
Okay.
And it was not like calculated or planned. I think it's funny actually and so naive of me, but when I was an intern and then like I've kind of told every boss that I have, I'm like, someday I want to be on the Max stage. And they're like, okay, cool. But that was like kind of, I put that out there, but I don't think that maybe that did or did not help. I do think seriously Adobe Live like gave me like a big step forward just to be comfortable with like talking with people. I mean, and then I kind of realized like this is what I love to do is like talk with people, talk with creative people. I don't know. I'm just such an extrovert. And so like being around people like really just energizes me. So that was huge. And I think from there that I was able to also like start mentoring our interns. And then from there, speak on different panels. And I think just word kind of got out that I like to do this stuff. I'd say yes a lot. Like I was an easy person to just be like, give it to Emma. Like she'll do it. Now I'm learning to like reel it in and like I have to say no sometimes, which is kind of like, but I want to do everything, but I can't. So I think all those things kind of built up. I've also done a lot of different like team, like Adobe design, team-wide presentations. And like I've, in my new job, get to meet a lot with executives, which is really great visibility. So, and I just talk to people in the office too. Like, oh my gosh, if you're sitting by yourself, watch out because I will come talk to you. And
You're making a new friend.
Yes, force you to be my friend. So kind of all those things, like actually talking to people in the office got me my current job. Like that opportunity came to me because it was someone that I'd approached him. I just was curious about his work. He kind of kept me in the loop and he's like, hey, I'm starting this new team. Do you want to come join? And I was like, whoa, wasn't really like planning on changing teams at that time. Like I still absolutely adore the brand. Like seriously, some of the best people ever are on the brand team. So that was like a tough decision, but yeah, just like being curious, talking to people. And then about 5 weeks before Max started, I got a Slack message from someone on the like keynote producing team. And I was like, he's like, oh, you're like senior vice president recommended you for it. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I don't think I realized he like knew me, first of all. I don't really know like what all went into that conversation or like how that came to be. But yeah, it was like such a like an honor for sure and such a great experience. And I think what I learned more was like not on stage, but like off stage. I learned a lot about myself. I learned kind of a new skill set of like, I don't know, how to present or talk about things like in a way that feels like my voice. And I don't think I really like knew what that was until I went through that like really rigorous process. So I was like more proud of like all those like obstacles that I overcame and like all the things that I learned off stage, and like the on stage moment was great, but like don't want to let that get to my head. Like I want to use that to just like help me be better in my day-to-day job.
I would so let it go to my head.
It's already gone there.
My head would be so big.
No, you would not.
I think Steven in the chat really summarized what you said very nicely. He said, your mindset is great, a great mindset to have. You're available, but you're also teachable.
Yeah, thank you. That's a compliment. That's like kind of my goal. I think I grew up as an athlete. Like that was like my other big thing. I played volleyball. That was like, so I was used to like getting coached really hard. I played at a high level. So I think I was just kind of like used to that. And I was always like, teach me. Like I want to be good and I will work really hard for you. You just kind of have to like show me how. And so I think that's also kind of what I'm experiencing in my current job, right? I'm like, probably not the best at that job right now, but I have confidence in myself that I can be better and I can learn really fast. And it just, like being a sponge from everyone around me.
That's amazing. That. Yeah, I feel like, and maybe some of those are those like soft skills that we were talking about, right? Like
absolutely.
These are the things that help you level up or open opportunities for you. Are there ones that you consistently fall back on or feel like, more people need to focus on building this in themselves or something like that to help continue to open doors for other people?
That's such a good question.
I think being workable, coachable, all of those things are really great.
I think confidence is like a huge thing that I feel like naturally I'm very confident in like myself and my abilities. But of course, there's going to be times where you don't feel like you're the best. And like that makes you kind of feel like you should shrink or like, I don't know, you feel less willing to speak up. Or if you get like hard feedback that like can really get to your head. And like that has happened with me a ton recently. But then it's like, okay, you have to have the ability and the knowledge that like you've gotten this far. Like you got this far for a reason and other people like have your back, support you, believe in you. And so just like being able to like bring that confidence back out of you, like sure, if you have a hard moment, like let that breathe for a minute, but like don't let that consume you and eat you alive. And I think balance is really important. Like my job is so important to me. I love being creative, but also like my identity is not my job. And so I think that just allows you to like think a little bit clearer and not be like all consumed by it. And then you just like can set like healthier expectations and like kind of boundaries for yourself because you're like, I'm going to do really good at my job, but when I get home, I'm leaving that. Like that whatever stress that I'm like bringing home from work, like gonna leave it. I don't want it to carry into like my other relationships. So I think like having like confidence and then, yeah, just like your identity in something that's not your work, which can change a lot.
That's so interesting because I feel like creatives, because creativity is one of those things that like can strike any time.
Yeah,
and
you can't turn it off.
Yeah, it's not just like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get your identity wrapped up because you could be like at yoga and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I have this great idea.
Me all the time. Pilates, I'm like, hold on, let me get my phone, let me write this down, which I think is good too.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
I think I'm learning some balance though between like creative hobbies or like something that makes me feel creative versus like actual work, like doing something for myself. And it's kind of taken me a long time to like figure out what that is, because when I was like, okay, I need to do something that's creative, but that it isn't work related, I was trying things out and it was like kind of all felt still like work. I'm like, nope, that like I was forcing it. And something I started doing recently is just like mood boarding and just like printing out cute pictures and like pinning them on a physical bulletin board and like doing little sketches and like dreaming up concepts in my head that will never go anywhere. But for me, that's like, okay, that's my creative outlet. So I can still channel some of those creative ideas. If it is something for work, I don't do it right away. Like we'll write it down in a note on my phone and then I'll do it when I'm back in the office or like clocked in. But I think like learning to find that separation has been helpful for me recently. I mean, recently as of like after Max, I was like, whoa, I mean, because you're in like a lot of rehearsals and like that Max prep is like your life. And I was like, I need to like log off of work at some point. Like I need to be able to like think and channel my creative energy somewhere else.
Yeah, I love that.
Which is hard to do though. If you're like a freelancer, like you're I don't know. Got no advice for you. There's some great people that have advice for you on that.
I feel like as a creative too, there's consistently that thing of, oh, should I turn this into income? Oh, should I do that? And
Yeah.
you're not necessarily in that freelancer bucket, but like I feel like as a creative person, there's always just this monetization factor. Where
I have fallen into that.
Yeah.
Like literally, again, since I was little. Okay. So like 7th grade.
10-year-old Emma is like, can I sell this painting?
Literally 10-year-old Emma was an entrepreneur.
Okay, I love that.
Actually, it was, I don't know, I was in 7th grade. I went to a new school and I was like, how am I going to make friends at lunch? I made bows, like little hair bows, and I sold them at lunch with like a little sign up sheet. It was called Emma's Boutique. And like
Adorable.
I would make, so I was collecting money and making friends, and then
And here she is today.
and then in like end of like my senior year into college, like painted denim jackets were a really big thing.
Yeah.
And I would probably kind of illegally paint college logos, which like, yeah, copyright infringement for sure. But I would like paint those and like sell those to like my classmates, my friends. I like made a thing of that in college. I like would have like 10 denim jackets like on my floor of my dorm with like my paints, which so it's like everything kind of starts out as a hobby for me,
And then-
but totally, even with this like mood boarding thing, I'm like, I should start making content. Like I was like, I want to make a TikTok.
You really should.
Megan's gonna encourage you.
Yeah.
Today I think I'm gonna try it. We'll see. But honestly, I was super inspired by like all the creators at Max. I was like,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
I want to be in this community. Let me in this club. But that's also a lot of work. So
Oh my gosh, they would let you in
we'll
so fast.
see.
It's like the most open community
It was
ever.
so fun. I think that was my highlight, was meeting like people that I've like admired their work for so long. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're a real cool person. And yeah, they're like just the best people ever. And that just honestly like reignited my passion for designing our products too. Cause I'm like, oh, like I want this person to have like the most amazing toolkit at their disposal. So like they can keep creating amazing work that like I love to see and that's like super valuable for their clients. So yeah, that was a cool opportunity.
I love this like insight into this back end of Adobe that we don't usually get to see.
A
of,
little
like,
behind the scenes.
here are the
tea.
people that are actually working on the products
Yeah.
for us. It's cool to hear that you have the community in mind when you're doing
I
that.
mean, and so many people, specifically within the Adobe Design Organization, do. Like, there's so many smart people and a lot of people with similar stories to me where they maybe studied graphic design or they've been like Adobe fans or users forever. And so I think the good thing for like the community to know is like we have your back and like we are working so hard to like try to deliver the best stuff for you guys. And of course there's like any company, there's going to be things that are like, I don't know, ups and downs and like ways we can and cannot control that. But like at the heart of it, like it's great people with a great culture that just like care a lot, which is great. Like you can't force someone to care, and like everyone just kind of naturally cares about what we do here and the people we design for.
I love that. That's so wholesome.
Yeah, it is so wholesome. It's like the best thing ever.
So you moved from the brand team into this more AI focused team. How has your understanding of AI changed, evolved, grown as you've been in this role, especially as it relates to creatives and how they're using products?
Ugh, that's such a like loaded question. And I'm still like trying to figure out how I feel about it. I think living in San Francisco is such a bubble. I mean, you say like see AI billboards everywhere. You see all the like crazy flashy headlines. I do think like being in this space has made me less scared of it.
Okay.
Which is nice because I think a lot of it is sold as like, oh, it's going to take over everything. And I've gotten the privilege to like really stress test like most tools you can think of and spend a lot of time like learning about what it can do really well and what it can't do. And just like across the board, it cannot replace like human creativity or like the human taste or like, I don't know, aesthetic. Like that will always be so ownable by humans and by creatives. And I think AI is just best for like, yeah, the friction, like the things that you don't want to do. So I think for me, it's like reduce some of the fear because it's sold to us as magic. It's not. Don't get me in trouble. It's not magic, okay? Like it has some real limitations. Obviously things are like changing so fast, but I think at the heart of it, like creativity will always win out. I mean, it's won out every iteration of technology you can think of. Like, why would it change now? And I think we'll just have to, sure, maybe adapt and like evolve some ways of working, but like the like core skills that you bring to the table of your creativity and your taste, like that will like I think set you apart, and just that's like already what you're good at, right? So yeah, I don't know, I'm still figuring it out. Don't look for me to answer anything because I don't know.
I think that's a great answer. I love what you said about like it will never replace the human creativity. The way I see it is that like yes, it can imitate the what creatives are doing, but it can't like push it forward. And if you think of like great artists in the past, they've always been pushing art forward and changing it in a way that makes it better or different. And that's something that like will stick with human creativity.
Absolutely. Like there's a story behind it. There's a concept behind it. Like design isn't just aesthetics. It's like it's got to be aesthetics like in service of like a larger story you're trying to tell. And like, yeah, it can make very homogenous things. Like AI can like replicate things really easily or create new things. But what it won't have is that like clarity of like the story and like the purpose you're trying to serve. I think a lot of times it jumps to like really obvious answers, and we're better at like pushing that. Like if I wanted a logo for a dog treat company, it's going to give me a dog bone, right? Like, but you might be like, no, this brand has this great story of this owner, and like we can infuse all these different design elements to tell that story. That's not going to give you the most obvious answer.
It's the emotion behind it. Like,
totally.
It doesn't have a human emotion.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It does not. It does not. Right now.
And that human emotion is like the key.
Yeah. And designers are really empathetic people for the most part. Like, we understand people, we understand their wants and their needs. Yeah. And that's like, that's uniquely human, and that's going to be our superpower. However, technology changes, we can always leverage that.
Are there core questions as you guys are like continuing to develop products and things? What are the core questions and core things? Obviously, like how can we make users' lives easier? But what are other questions that you guys keep coming back to all together to try and solve?
Yeah, I think just like the user thing is a big one, because it's so easy to like put AI in for the sake of AI, for the sake of keeping up with the industry. And I think it's kind of up to us to do something a little bit different, because if we don't do something different, then like our users aren't going to be happy, right? And it's going to just be like AI for the sake of AI, which that novelty is already kind of worn off, right? Like people get it. You can generate images. So like, what are you trying to accomplish as a designer? Where are the right moments to bring in AI, and where are the right moments to just leave it alone? I think that's probably what I'm learning a lot, just being like a user of AI, but then also thinking about our products is like, I think some of the best people and the best use cases will be like knowing when to include AI and when to not. So if you're a designer, like when's the right moment to use AI and when's the right moment to not? And I think there's like a balance. I don't think if you're all in, might be leaning too far one way. I think if you're all out, leaning too far the other way. So I think we're still trying to figure out, like, now that we know a little bit more about what the technology is capable of, what are the right ways to apply it?
Yeah, definitely. Are you looking specifically just for designers, or do you do like cross-discipline, like Photoshop and things like that as well?
Yeah. So all of our creative apps, which is
Iconic.
fun. So yeah, there's of course like a lot of different nuance and like needs, and that changes from product to product. And a lot of times our product teams are best suited to answer that, because like the Photoshop team really knows what people need for Photoshop.
Right.
So a lot of times I'm looking at things at like a higher level, and then they like make things more specific. But yeah, creatives across the board is what we're trying to, not, easy things to solve for sure.
One blanket answer.
Yeah. That I totally, as a very junior designer, am equipped to answer.
I think it's good to hear though that like all answers are not yes AI. Like it's good to hear that some of the answers, maybe not, or maybe we're approaching it the wrong way. I feel like that can be a difficult conversation to be like the naysayer or the person who's like, are we sure? How has that been? Or like, have you been in those conversations? Or
Yes, for sure.
And
I
that's
think I'm still figuring out like you said, my opinions and like what feels like, what do I believe? That's kind of hard to like parse through when there's so much hype around this thing, because you also like, I don't want to get left behind, and I don't want to sound like the person that's like anti-technology. That's not the case. And now that I've like been in the room with like really like rooms with really smart people, I'm learning a lot from them and just like absorbing. And of course I'll raise concerns like if I see them. But I think the culture that we have at Adobe is very much one where you're allowed to voice your opinion. Like whatever level you're at, if you want to make a case for something, like that is allowed, and that will not be shut down, which I think is really amazing, because I think that's how we like land on the best ideas winning, is just like allowing for, I think one of the quotes from our founders is like, great ideas can come from anywhere in the company. And that was like said to us as interns too, right? Like that's the expectation they set. Yeah.
That's amazing.
There's a mural of that in the cafe.
I know, in the cafeteria.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cute.
I need to go spend some time with it.
Yeah.
Just sit in front of it.
I've never seen it.
Absorb.
How's chat doing? Are they
Chat's doing great.
hanging in there?
Yeah, I actually wanted to shout out one person, because, we're talking about lifelong learners, accepting that you aren't going to be the best, but having confidence that you can. Rathi in the chat said that they started learning Illustrator last month.
Nice.
Wow.
They are a 30-year-old mama, and she asked if she is late to the game.
Absolutely
what would you say
not. No. Like, I feel like even though I work at Adobe and I've used Illustrator for a good amount of time, I'm still learning. And so I don't think it's ever too late to start. And I think you'll just like learn more and more and just like have so much fun with it. So
I like the way that AI is going, and you showed this in your Max demo with the AI assistant in Express, is that like for people that are just learning, it does, for me, in my opinion, it gives you like an entry point that seems a little bit less scary.
Totally.
And a little bit more manageable. I love that about the AI assistant and the way that we've done that like agentic kind of experience.
Yeah.
For someone who is also, still learning graphic design and still exploring, I think that's a great benefit to
Totally.
it.
That's definitely something I've seen our product teams really work towards, especially with the Photoshop web assistant that I demoed. It's in like a limited beta, but they actually showed me like the first thing that they designed it for was people that were new to Photoshop.
Oh.
So it's really great at giving you like tutorials and like hands-on like you ask a question like you would ask for a tutorial video, and it'll show you in there how to do it. So I think that's like a perfect example of like AI just stepping in at the right moment to teach you what you want to know. And then you can say, okay, back off. Now my turn to create.
Yeah. Great. Now I get to do it.
Exactly.
I think like one of Adobe's mottos is creativity for all.
Yes.
And that's how I see it, is like opening up the doors for more creativity. for
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a new Photoshop user, but I'm not naming my layers ever. So
everyone. Wait, I
I'm
don't
very
even know how to
excited.
name a layer.
It is a simple
I should-
double click, but honestly,
I
it's a
know.
lot of work.
I know.
Yeah, I mean,
But like, who has time for that? Who remembers
no,
that?
especially about with your stuff, like so many layers. And
Can you imagine Paul Training?
yeah, Paul could use it. Michael in Illustrator,
Love
his
you,
demos,
Paul.
we were cracking up backstage. We're like, Michael, we need this in Illustrator because you have he had like 80 Illustrator layers. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Complicated
That's crazy.
designs.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this. So what's keeping you inspired? What are you excited for in the future? Anything that you're like, I don't know, this is like really keeping the spark alive for me?
That's such a good question. I think the people.
Yeah.
I know I've talked so much about that, but like to me, like that's who I am as a
It's you,
as
chat,
a person.
yeah.
Like that is, I love people, and I think that is always going to be like a driving motivator for literally whatever I'm doing in my life, especially in my career. But Max, yeah, like going to community events was like, oh my gosh, these people are so cool. I just wanted to learn everything they were doing, like meet as many people as I could, and I think that has just really like revitalized me in a way that I'm like, oh, like this person I met is so cool. They're an amazing Illustrator user. Like, what can we do for this person in this moment of time? And like, they were super honest with me too, which I really appreciated. Like, they kind of got like, okay, they can give me their critiques, and like, I won't take it personally. And that is actually like so helpful, because they weren't people that were like, I hate Adobe or I hate AI. Like, these are people that love Adobe. They're totally willing to change, and they have thoughts and real questions and real concerns. And I think it was great just that they felt comfortable to like share that with me. And then I feel like a sense of responsibility to be like, okay, now I've got to like give this message to other people and to the right people to make sure that like, if you weren't at Max, if you haven't gotten the chance to talk to these people recently, that like, we're not just designing for hypothetical users. Like, these are real people with like real needs, and we need to meet them. And I'm giving a presentation tomorrow about like some of the people I met, and just kind of this idea, just to like, I don't know, get everyone a little hyped up.
Humanize it a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
humanizing it for sure. And I think it's hard to do in the tech industry, and especially just like, I don't know, we design in our computers in our own little bubble. I sit at a desk by myself most days, so it's easy to like lose sight of the people. But I think that really just like brought that back into focus for me.
Amazing. Adobe's lucky to have you.
Oh, thanks.
We're lucky to
Adobe's
have you
lucky to
too.
have you guys.
And the community's lucky to have you
It's
too.
so fun. Well, it was like, felt like I was opened with welcome arms with the community at
They're the
Max,
best.
which was really, really sweet. I was like, I'm not one of you really, but like,
What? You
I
so
want to be
are.
one of you now.
You so are. You so are.
Okay, what is one new feature that has launched recently that you felt almost that connection of, oh, wow, they understand my workflow, or wow, I'm so excited. This is in-app. This is the lightning round.
Such
Tea.
a good question. I think Harmonize was really like a
True.
big unlock for me. I know that's like, people have talked about that a lot. I am like, okay at Photoshop, like pretty good, but like I was never going to be the person that could paint a bunch of adjustments or like understand the lights and the shadows. And so that's been really cool just to play around with, because I feel like it just made it so much easier for me to like composite things. I wish I had it in college when I was making like mock-ups.
Real.
That was like the one thing I was thinking of. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would have been like so nice to have, because those were skills that like I probably wouldn't want to learn, but I was so glad that they did that. And everything with sneaks was really
Oh my
interesting.
gosh.
So I'm
the
like,
one with the light where they can change the
Yeah.
lighting. I was like, do it again.
yeah, and I think that was a great example, sneaks, of like
Yeah.
using AI. A lot of those were AI powered, or
Right.
like some bit of AI, but those were like addressing real things that creatives deal with. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, give that to me. So
Now.
yeah, I'm excited to see what comes up next. It's always a fun, crazy time after Max to kind of see like, okay, what's the buzz about? Like, what do we prioritize going into the next year? So We'll see. I don't even know.
Because Harmonize was Sneaks last
Yeah.
year. And it went crazy.
It's
and
come a
then
long
we finally have
way.
her.
Yeah,
So.
and Turntable's fun too.
The turntable's so fun.
Yeah.
fun.
And Michael's a hilarious demo. So demo.
Go back and watch it.
Yeah,
so good.
I heard that practice like a million times with his homies and like turn. So yeah, that was a good one. I love it.
Any closing comments from chat?
No, very active chat though.
Yay.
A lot
Oh,
of people really
fun.
happy to get to know you, get to know the work that you're doing here at Adobe, and I was super interested. I learned so much about the company.
I'm glad. I'm
worked
like
with.
little me. I'm like, what do I have to talk about with you guys? But
I think like my big takeaway from this conversation is like your viewpoint on confidence.
Mm.
It's so
Thanks, yeah.
mature for for your age and your
Oh,
time in the
thanks.
industry. I think it's like the idea of confidence isn't walking into a room knowing that you're the best,
totally.
but it's walking in knowing that like you can learn and grow
Yeah.
from the people that are in the room. So
For sure.
definitely taking that little nugget of
Nice.
wisdom
Yeah.
away from you.
Always important to me to like surround myself with smarter people, like people that are better than me. And that's how you get better, right? Like you kind of just stay stagnant if you're the best in every single room. And that's not what I want to be.
Such good advice. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for joining us today. It was
Thanks
such
for
a pleasure,
having me.
Megan. Thank you for hosting.
I'll be back, hopefully.
We'll see. Just kidding. And chat, thank you so much for hanging out and being part of the conversation. We will be back next month on December. I'm not going to give the date because I don't know off the top of my head, but we will be back second week of December. Please be here. And thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.